Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Really enjoyed the documentary. I just spoke to the directors, both lovely guys, and yeah, it was a really eye-opening because in the UK we don't really know much about this thing and don't know too much about. Well, I mean, we know about August Wilson, but not in the same way that you guys obviously do. What's the experience been like? Promoting a documentary and being part of this incredible tale.
Oh, absolutely rewarding. In the best of ways. I think just throughout this entire process, Mr. Jem and Fernando and Julius and Viola and everyone, I mean, John Legend and his partner Mike Jackson, all of them have been so instrumental in just supporting us. I mean, when you look at our group chats, when we go to these interviews, when we were at Sundance, just such fullness of love and connection and just a real passion for being able to tell each other's stories and for being able to be a part of each other's experiences in a way that's incredibly reflective of August Wilson's work and exactly what he was doing, right? Portraying these experiences that you might not see otherwise. That's exactly what this documentary is doing. And it's just a big love fest, a big love fest, and the best experience of sharing with people that are excited and passionate about the same things that I am.
Yeah. Did you get to meet John Legend and Denzel and Viola, or were you kind of
Oh,
just
I wish they were all booked and busy when we were at Sundance. I know specifically Viola was filming for Ma Rainey's during the time that we were at Sundance, but her husband Julius was able to attend. And I mean, he is just a wealth of knowledge and so kind and so supportive, and just encouraging us to continue doing this work and continue in this art form. So it was a lovely experience.
yeah. I've got one over on you then because I ironically interviewed both Denzel and Viola Davis for Fences when it came out in the UK a couple of years ago. So
Wow. Lucky you then.
just name drop
I
Denzel
love
Washington
that
into
for
the
you.
conversation.
I'm not
I
gonna
was
be jealous.
I will say I was super nervous talking to Denzel. I've never been so nervous. It was on a Sunday morning and he was only over for a day or something promoting Fences, and I went to interview him for Hey You Guys for our site, and yeah, I was just really sweating and stuff, and because it was just I sat in the
Oh,
room and I was like,
it's
Denzel
you.
Washington,
You're there.
like
It's
literally
you.
less than 6 feet away from me. It's madness. But I
I
spoke to him, and
love it.
then I spoke to Viola as well about Fences, which was kind of a strange thing to now be talking about this, and also I watched Ma Rainey the other day as well because I interviewed some of the guys in the band. So it's quite a August Wilson fest. So it's been good. But then to see your documentary as well, to see all you guys kind of performing in the way that you all really like. Obviously, you're actors, and there's amazing work by amazing writers. But the way that not just Viola and Denzel, but you guys as well react and inhabit August Wilson's work. I mean, it's just kind of justifies exactly what his legacy is. I guess. I mean, how much of an influence is he on you, just in general?
Oh my goodness. A complete influence. I've talked about how at the moment in my life that the documentary, pardon me, that the competition was at. I was a senior in high school, and I had never had the opportunity to step into work. I had never encountered work aside from seeing Viola and Denzel's Fences in theaters. I had never had the opportunity to engage with work that felt so familiar. I mean, in looking for a monologue for the competition, I I was so appreciative um, and welcomed by the fact that this writing sounded like my mom. It sounded like my grandmother. It sounded like my uncles, my friends. I mean, it was just it. His work let me know that my experiences and my culture and the people that I know and love and that have made me who I am belong in this art form and are deserving of a Pulitzer Prize. I mean, I'm just, August Wilson let me know as a senior in high school when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to continue in the arts and if I could really do it. He let me know you absolutely must. There's space for you, there's room for you. And it completely has changed the way that I've approached every piece since then. I'm allowed and I have the charge to bring all of who I am, all of my experiences and intersecting identities into every room that I walk into. And August Wilson gave me that courage.
Yeah. How did you, when you were entering the competition, had you already decided which monologue you were going to do, or was there a few kind of floating around in your head that you may have tackled?
I hadn't decided at all, actually. When I first said I'd do it, that was when I started a very sporadic and energized monologue search. And it was when I came across Bernice's monologue in the piano lesson and felt that that story was so familiar and was ingrained in me that I realized that was the one that I had to do. Her ability, through August's writing, to talk about what it meant to be a woman independently, it just completely gave me the sense that was my mom, that was my grandmother. They were both single parents. My mother's been a single parent my entire life, and the familiarity of those words and of that experience, and the chance to step into such a strong woman and such a woman with agency and with autonomy over her own story and her own experience was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So I didn't know what monologue I would do when I went to the competition, but I'll definitely say that Bernice found me and she spoke to me. And August Wilson, I mean, it's a testament to his writing that he writes women who have agency, who can be independent, who are full 360 human beings. It's remarkable writing, and I'm really glad that monologue found me.
Good. Well, one of the things Fernando and the guys were saying about was that in your obviously it's a competition, and you look at some of the things that go on TV about, you know, people wanting to sing and wanting to dance, and it's a competition, and people are almost rivals, and, you know, they want to win the competition, they want to get that dance academy, or they want to get the money, or all that kind of stuff. But they were saying about how you guys were all like a family. You all wanted each other to succeed. You all hoped that everybody else would get, you know, it wasn't you that was going to win, it was someone else that was going to win, that you had that kind of that strange dynamic between you. I mean, that must have been a great experience, knowing that everyone was kind of you were in it together, and it wasn't about winning, it was about the road and the journey and the kind of family that you formed.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't even say kind of family. Like, we, to this day, our Snapchat group chat, it's titled Wilsonian Soldiers, because that is what Kenny Leon called us. Kenny Leon coined that term at nationals, and it stuck with us. And to this day, we speak in that group chat. And to this day, we root each other on. And when people are doing projects, they'll send it in the group chat and we'll support, because that weekend, it was never, it never felt like a competition. There was so much love, so much support, and it was so immediate. I mean, you have all these kids coming from all over America, and we bonded immediately over loving this thing, over loving this writing, loving August Wilson's work. And it's so funny. I mean, it showed up in the funniest of ways. There's a moment in the documentary where it shows all of us walking down the street, and we all, for some reason, have like white shirts and blue jeans, and it wasn't planned. We just sunk up. Like, I mean, all of us formed such great relationships, and there was so much love and encouragement. Those people, they were immediately my friends, and over time they've become a part of my family for sure.
Yeah. Was it a different experience? I mean, obviously when you do something like that, there's, I was saying to the guys before, there's almost two audiences. You've got the audiences of your peers and your friends that you've made who are behind you, but then obviously you've got the judges and everything else. I mean, does that in some ways, no, obviously you guys as actors make you nervous, but in some ways give you even more energy to want to put even more into the performance than maybe you would have done if you just had the audience in front of you?
Oh, definitely. I think that you could feel this overwhelming sense of this moment is full of love. It's full of magic. Each one of us, as we were sitting behind and watching the other person go up, I mean, it was the feeling of watching someone step into their fullness. I mean, you make friends, you become friends with these people, and then when you see them do what they love and do it well, you're absolutely taken aback. And then when I had the chance to go and step into the light myself, it was such a rush. And I think that having the support of my peers, knowing that this entire experience was to support us and was to lift us up and encourage us to go further, and then being able to speak words that are so good that they call you to bring all of you to them and to tell your truth through them, you can't help but experience a magical feeling. I mean, I don't know how to describe it other than magic and just overwhelming love. Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Well, I mean, his work is phenomenal. And the guys were saying about, you know, there's Tennessee Williams, Arthur Miller, all the great kind of playwrights over the years that are being taught in schools. But August is still a little bit kind of behind when actually he should maybe, particularly even more so now in 2020, should be
Yeah.
being taught more for not just for drama students, but as a kind of a history lesson, in the sense that he was able to capture these moments in time
Yeah.
when, you know, they were talking about slavery, talk about, you know, people when, you know, they obviously had low incomes, all that kind of stuff that they've had to deal with.
Right.
I mean, do you believe now even more so than ever that his work should be studied a bit more, particularly for actors, but also, as I say, like a history lesson in many ways?
Oh, definitely. I think for actors as a history lesson, and also specifically when we look at how many tensions, racial tensions in America, and then across the world, how racial injustices and oppressive systems have been brought to the forefront of many of our conversations recently. I think that we must look to August's work. I look at Jim of the Ocean, and there in his work are lessons of people who make mistakes, people who need to who are redeemed, a way to create a system in society that is not based on punishment, but is based on rehabilitation and opportunity. It teaches us that we must look to the past to know who we are, to know what can happen in the future. I mean, August Wilson's work, that's just in Jim of the Ocean. That in all of his plays, there are lessons, there are answers to the questions that we have today, that we have had since he wrote those works, since before he wrote those works. And so not only for history and not only for artistry, but also for politics. I think that he knew that he was commenting and providing answers, or even if he didn't know that he was providing those answers, he definitely knew what the answers were, and they are in his work. So many of the questions that we ask today, and also lessons of humanity, how to be a person that can operate in a system that maybe was not, or that definitely was not built for your success, or how to be someone who can give voice and give power to people who suffer from systems that were not made for them. All of those answers are in August Wilson's work. And if we pay attention, many of our questions are answered there.
Yes, absolutely. So how is it gone for you post the documentary? Obviously you were part of the competition. Are you still doing doing drama studies? Are you still looking to be an actor, or because the guys were saying that even if through August's work people sometimes don't jump into acting, but it allows them to jump into something else, you know, it kind of awakens something in them to be able to go and do what their passion is, whether it is acting or something completely different.
Absolutely. So I right now am a junior at New York University, and I'm majoring in musical theater. So it's acting and the singing and the dancing. And I'm also pursuing studies in producing for film and television, and the competition, and also the documentary, and like working with Jem and Fernando, and having a taste of that world inspired and just lit this desire to go after many of these industries. And I think that when I look at Viola Davis and Denzel, who have made their careers on screen and off, and when I look at Jim and Fernando, who work on projects on screen and off, I'm just so encouraged and so inspired. And so post-documentary, I've been working on that. I've been working on my singing and my acting and my dancing and my performing, and also my producing, and the desire to be on the other side of the table and be a part of the process that creates more of these opportunities for marginalized communities or underrepresented voices to be at the forefront or just a part of the conversation and have seats at the table in this industry.
Yeah. I mean, also there seems to be a bit of a musical renaissance in the last few years with La La Land and The Prom's just coming out, and West Side Story's been remade and that's coming out next year. I mean, it seems to be a whole new, because musicals kind of, I guess in cinema, they died quite a lot for a long time and have slowly come back into life, which is great. And also obviously the work that Lin-Manuel Miranda's been doing with Hamilton, his new one out next year. I mean, thriving is musicals. You're in the right place.
There's so much opportunity, and I'm so excited for how the industry will look after, you know, the pandemic is over. I don't think it'll be the same industry, and I'm excited for what we're gonna see, what it's gonna be, and what opportunities are gonna be there for so many more people.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a dream role that you'd like to do? Would you like to do an August Wilson somewhere down the line, whether it's on stage or in films? Because there's a few of the films, obviously Fences and now Ma Rainey's have been made into films now. So
yes, I would absolutely love to play Vera in Seven Guitars. If I had the chance to get my hand on that role, I would be so full. It would be such a full circle moment. I would love to dare to do that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got Denzel's number anymore, but I would have given it. Give him a call.
Know for me.
Give him a call. Come on, Denzel. Callie, it was so lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck with everything, and good luck with the documentary. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. This has been lovely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.